Number one is that money brings happiness. Myth number two, that technology brings prosperity. Myth number three, weapons bring security. And myth number four, the earth brings to you unlimited resources for your consumption and disposal. Those myths are based upon desire. We want it to be like that, although there is no conclusive evidence showing that indeed such is the reality. I was speaking at University of Cape Town in South Africa. That's where your chanter and the young lady who was making the introduction, I met her there at the University of Cape Town, which is considered the premier educational institution on the African continent. So I was explaining how it was to an audience of about 200 students and professors. I explained something that I knew that they already accepted. It's always nice to do that when speaking, to create some common ground and then go to some more exotic ground. So I explained that it's a well-known conception given by the newfound science of happiness. The science of happiness is about a little over 10 years old. And it puts forward that beyond a basic middle-class standard of living, a basic middle-class standard of living, any further increase in income and luxury does not lead to an increase in happiness as measured by psychological indicators. So I asked the 200 students and professors gathered, does anyone have any qualms about that research? And I knew that although little fine points may be contested here and there, but basically, in a general way, this conception is accepted. I asked, everyone accepts, and they all raised their hands, all 200. Yes, more or less. Beyond a basic middle-class standard of living. That means your food, clothing, and shelter needs are basically met. Any further income or luxury won't raise your happiness. They all said, yes, yes, we have heard this. So then I asked, all right, how many of you intelligent, prestigious students at this erudite university, how many of you are prepared to live your life on a basic middle-class standard? Please raise your hands. Maybe 5 out of 200 raised their hands. I did that little exercise just to show that even when we hear the facts, still, we've got these ambitions, we've got these desires, we've got these cravings, which even amongst educated persons, these cravings, these desires push aside any factual guidelines. I often quote an American comedian of yesteryear who would often make the statement, "My mind's made up, don't try to confuse me with the facts." So, our desires are made up. Our cravings, our yearnings, that's already happening. There may be facts, otherwise, there may be other considerations, but the show of desire has to go on. We know what it feels like in our life when someone interferes with our desires. You get angry. This is explained in the prime yoga text Bhagavad Gita in a conversation between Krishna and his student Arjuna. Krishna explains how the sequence works. First, you contemplate or you meditate on the objects of the senses. Food for your eyes, your ears, your sense of touch, your sense of smell. You meditate on all that. And then you become invested, you become attached, you become hooked up. You feel an affinity, a connection with those objects of the senses. And that's just the beginning. Once there's some kind of connection, you know that we have anyone studying marketing here. That's a marketing researcher's paradise, when the consumer identifies with the product. So, once you identify, once you feel affinity for the object, then you start to develop craving. I want it, I need it, and you can't distinguish between the two. A craving that, yes, you could call lust. You can feel the fire of desire. Next, what happens? Whether you get the object of your desire or not, you become frustrated and angry. This is a cardinal point in the yoga text. Why must you become frustrated and angry? Why can't you be pleasantly fulfilled? Here is where we depart from traditional material understanding and we head for the beyond matter dimension. The yogis understand